today I thought that we would have breakfast together. So, because I bought a lot of things that I can have for breakfast. So, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to kind of introduce you to the menu, although it's not allowed yet. Whoops. But first off, we're going to have eggs. There you go. There's some Chinese for you. I have no idea what it says. We have some toast, which I'm defrosting. My eggs are trying to run away from me. And last but definitely not least is some American style bacon. Bacon, 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 bacon. It never crisps up like that. It may just be my cooking method. But the thing we're going to cook with today is our wok. I don't know what most of these settings do. I just mess around with them until I find one that gives me a heat temperature that I like. The last thing that we're going to partake of and enjoy is our coffee. Yum. Hopefully it'll be really good. It's instant coffee because I am a broke chick. And if I bought regular coffee, I would have to get all the equipment for it. One of the cool things that they sell here are these little, they're little coffee packets that come with the ground coffee beans and a little filter. And they're for 1 cup use. They're pretty nice, but they're also a bit more expensive, and I am a broke chick. So, here you go. This is some Vietnamese coffee. You can't really see the name there, but it's like Trung. I don't even know. Come on, camera. Try. At least try. No, it's not going to. Okay, well, there you go. Anyways, here's our coffee. These are two of the few symbols I've learned, but this says cafe. Yeah, that's important to know. This is cafe. I got this one specifically because it was cheap and because it tells you to add your own milk and sugar, which I think is crucial because I don't like it when things come with milk and sugar, and I try to use as little sugar as possible in any of my cooking because it's just unnecessary. Anyways, the last thing that we're going to get, soy milk. Because I can't stand cow milk. It's not like I'm lactose intolerant. I just hate drinking cow milk. It's a texture thing for me. Like, if it's anything more than 0.5%, I'm like, ugh. It's just not happening, okay? But I do love dairy products and things like that, so that's why I have cheese and unnecessary expenditures like that. Should we make it a cheesy breakfast, or should we do it with some, maybe I should save the bread to eat with those cheesy hot dogs that I just got, and instead make some banana pancakes? No. Instead, we'll do some cream cheese spread, and maybe even some Parmesan. I know every Italian is weeping over us considering that to be Parmesan, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't really care. I really like this kind of Parmesan. Of course, I like traditional Parmesan, like real Parmesan cheese. But you know what? This has fond childhood memories. You know what I mean? Like, if it's from your childhood, you just kind of grow to like it. Sometimes. Some things no. But anyways, so that's what we got on the menu. And I'm going to go ahead and start cooking and show you guys how we do what we do. First thing that we're going to make is our toast. We've got it right here. 1 and 2. Maybe I'll just do 1. We'll see. But anyways, so we got to turn this on. Power button. Can't believe I just missed the power button. What does that say about me? Look how that's 2200 watts. And that's absurd because we don't want to fry this. We just want to toast it, right? So we're just going to put it straight. It's sizzling because it's still frozen. That may not have been my best strategy, but whatever. Life moves on. Now we just let it heat up for a while on a low heat with no oil. The first few times I tried to make toast, I was like, well, I'm putting it on heat, so I must add oil, right? No. No. Toast isn't oily when it comes out of the toaster. If you add oil, it's just going to be like not toast. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not toast. So we're not going to do that. That's not what we're going for today. I'm going to bump it up to 600. Dun dun dun. But I wouldn't go higher than that. I have no idea what the other temperatures are, but I know that they definitely burn things. So while our toast is toasting, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some coffee. I'm going to check the toast really fast. Notice that steam coming off of it? Yeah. See, you got to keep it moving because remember, there's no like heat coils. So if you don't keep it moving, it's just going to burn wherever it has the most contact with the pan. So you got to think about these things. We're back. Now we can look at our coffee. These are our ingredients. We have our Vietnamese instant coffee, which I've never tasted before, so it could be the worst or the best thing in my life. This is crystallization of honey. I don't know, but it's kind of like honey, but kind of not. And this is our soy milk, of course, because as I already stated, soy milk is just better. And also, I know there's a lot of controversy. People say, oh, soy milk gives people cancer. But I really question the research on that because it doesn't prove causation. Obviously, no one is sitting there feeding somebody soy milk and seeing if they get higher rates of cancer or not, right? That would be unethical to try to expose somebody to cancer. So the only way that we're really testing it is through causation. Well, not through causation. Through like, oh, this is happening more in this population than that population, so it must be true, right? But you also have to think about it. Which cultures in the world eat the most soy and consume the most soy? And it's usually Asia, right? So the next question, specifically Japan, right? It's easier for us to get actual scientific data from Japan than a lot of other Asian countries, right? But what do Asian countries have in common that a lot of other countries in the world don't have? Well, radiation exposure, obviously. So before we start sitting there and saying the soy is giving everybody cancer, let's look at the other possible cancer effects that could be endemic in a society. What I would say though is that definitely consuming certain products for men can be very unhealthy and can definitely damage fertility rates, especially with soy products. But then again, that's not based on causation either. That's just based on correlation between birth rates and estrogen rates in different populations. Personally, I think the reason for such extremely low birth rates in Japan and places like in Western world as well is because we're putting more of an emphasis, more of a pressure on people not to get married, not to have children until they're older. We as cultures are pushing people in ways that maybe we shouldn't. For example, in Japan, there was a big controversy last year because there was a daycare clinic and one of the women in the daycare clinic conceived, and she was fired for her job because she conceived out of turn. So basically, when she got the job, she and her husband were forced to sign an agreement saying that they would only have a child when it was their turn. So they had to wait for the people who had seniority to have their children, even if they were infertile. So this poor couple lost it because how could they possibly have a child, like this thing happens by accident. That kind of concept is ridiculous in the Western world, but it's actually a strong idea in places like Japan where the birth rate is critically low. I don't know, I would put it more on the massive amounts of radiation exposure and the insane cultural pressures that they experience than I would on soy products. Just saying. So, anyways, look at our toast. Isn't it beautifully toasted? Woo! This side's a little bit, but you know what? We're gonna look at this side because it's a thing of beauty. Yeah. I did that in a wok. You don't need toasters. Toasters are amazing. I love toasters. I miss ovens so much. You guys have no idea. I never realized how many things we make that we use ovens for that you just can't make on a stovetop. You just can't. So like lasagna. I haven't had lasagna in years. It's only half fake crying. Okay, so now that our toast is done, we're gonna do our eggs. 2 things to keep in mind. I forgot another ingredient into my secret food storage area. You guys want to see outside? It's a rainy day, which is the best kind of day, in my opinion. Sunny days are nice too, but I think people glorify them too much. There is beauty in the rain. Look at that. Look at those mountains. That's just lovely. Look at those clouds. It's just nice. Just nice. You guys want to see a view from 26 stories up? Woo! How was that? Was that fun? No, it wasn't fun for me either. Now I'm feeling nervous. Now I'm going to back away from the window slowly. Okay, let's back away. I like to slowly cook my eggs because I like a runny yolk. We're just going to add the olive oil. Blup, blup, blup. I'm just kidding. We're not going to add that much. Okay, that's probably a little bit too much. I don't know what I'm doing. So, here we go. We got our oiled pan. Again, we turn our pan on. We're going to turn on this one with fire. Turn it way down. Probably 3. Oh, that's plenty hot. Okay, I've been practicing with one hand, but I'm still a failure, so we'll try. Oh, I don't think that's a big enough crack. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so you're supposed to put your thumb in it, and then you lightly press and kind of twist the top away from the bottom. Like that. My hands are really tiny, so I don't think I could ever do 2 eggs, but you know what? Little victories, little victories. This is still too hot. We're going to turn it down to 120. Okay. Again, you put your thumb in the crack, you push, and you twist the top and bottom away from each other. And that's how you crack an egg with one hand. I'm sure there are better methods, and there are definitely better practitioners. But now we gotta wash our nasty, eggy hand. Ugh. Now we have these eggs. Look at those beautiful full yolks. We've got it on a really low heat, so it's gonna take a nice long time, which is what we want. Cooking is half about patience, half about creativity. Ta-da! You know how when you get an egg yolk sometimes and it's got that like nasty, like slimy thing over the top? All that is egg white that hasn't completely cooked. So all you gotta do is cover with the pan and let the steam cook the egg white that's on top. Don't turn up the heat. You don't have to flip the egg. You just let it do its own thing, you know? You can flip the egg if you want, but if you notice, mine are like conjoined. So flippage would be difficult, and I am no master. So, okay, now that is done, our toast is looking beautiful. Ah. Our eggs are frying. Yum. Now let's finally get to coffee.